Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the Legacy Sports Car Series sponsored by Ledford Construction. Today, we're at the virtual Silverstone circuit for another great day of racing. Welcome, one and all. On behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, I'm James East in the booth, bringing the action 1080p, 60 frames a second. As right now, all of our drivers are making their way out for open qualifying here today. It looks like we've got about 10 drivers making it out for tonight's festivities. And we're going to see who's going to be able to maybe put out a better time than they have been in the past. Still plenty of opportunity for all of these racers to bring home a race win and possibly improve their point standings. Right now, things are still shaking up in the LMP2 class. You've got Nick Terrell on top in the first spot. Alex Penn with Pinarchy is second overall for the LMP2 drivers. Kai Demarest is third in points for that class. Cody Ledford is fourth. Then you've also got Casey Carrington fifth in points. Andrew Neri sixth in points. Daniel Beauchamp seventh in points. And Finley Fitzsimmons, the newcomer, is also tied for seventh in points. In the Daytona Prototype class, right now you're watching the class leader jumping Johnny Eckert in the number 90 machine. He is first in points for the Daytona Prototype class with Ahmed the Echo second in points. Jack Forsey third in points. Carolus Thiel fourth in points. Alex Penn fifth in points. We've also got our GT1 drivers here today with DJ Weeks Jr. leading the class. Jason Conley moved up one spot into second place in class. Kai Schapper at third in points. Maximilian Petrovsky fourth in points. Charles Bochelle is currently fifth in points. And then we've got Robert Hill Jr. bringing home the rear there, sixth in points for our GT1 drivers. Starting to see a few more guys racing the GT2 class as well. Mark Proctor, currently your class leader. Not sure if Proctor's going to be making it out here tonight in the 36 machine or not. It's going to be interesting to see. Gareth McAllister is second in points with Andrew Neri third in points. Now you'll notice that Neri is kind of listed a couple times here. He has been racing both the LMP2 and the GT class as well when time permits for the GT2 class. So he's third in points in that one as well as sixth in points for the LMP2s. And there's still a team chase here as well. Outlaw Racing is out front. Pinarchy is second in points. Team Goon Squad third in points. You've got Alpha Ravioli fourth in points. Oblivion Racing fifth in points to round things off. So still a lot of good, fun racing to be had here as all these guys have been putting on a great show all season long. We're getting more and more drivers into this series, getting used to each other, and just enjoying some good, clean, affordable racing. We are round 10 here today. Next week we go to Watkins Glen before we head to our season finale at Homestead. So a lot of fun left to be had. As a reminder, it is a 15-minute open qualifying for all of these drivers. And then we go to our 45-minute feature event where we're going to see who can outlast the world-famous competition. As always, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. We've got Race Control Joseph Penn. He's hanging out. Cody Mars Ledford rejoining us after some real-life work has taken him away from the series, so good to see Ledford back. We've also got Carlos Acosta in the booth as well, hanging out, more in the grandstands cheering us on. Carlos with 3Y TV always join in. He is one of the best broadcasters we've had the pleasure of ever working with. So good to see Carlos out here today as well, enjoying some racing action at Silverstone. Right now, it's Alex Penn, the road race phenomenon, sitting on top of provisional pole, both for the overall and the LMP2s. Penn, the number 30 machine, he is a real-life kart racer. He is a Skip Barber School attendee and just an all-around swell kid out there on the racetrack. So it's going to be interesting to see what Alex is able to click down today. Jack Forsey is sitting on top for the Daytona Prototypes. And you've got McAllister, who's the fastest GT2 on track. Looks like DJ Weeks Jr., the only GT1 that's able to get out here today. But we still have about 8 minutes left in qualifying, so that may give time for a few more late attendees to make their way in. This is going to be interesting. So we've had a bunch of different winners in the LMP2 class. Last week it was the newcomer, Finley Fitzsimmons, put it on the top box. We've had a bunch of different winners for the LMP2 class so far this season. I know Daniel Beauchamp's got a win. Finley Fitzsimmons has one. Nick Terrell has 4 wins. Alex Penn has a win. Kai Demarest has a win. Carrington has a win. So that's a lot of different winners early on in the season as you see Alex Penn take an alternative line here at Silverstone. Don't rightly believe that was taught at the Skip Barber School. Andrew Neri puts down his flying lap. He puts himself second overall and second in class for qualifying with a 1 minute 38.74 second lap time. He's about 6/10 off of Alex Penn. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can find a little bit more time here and maybe try and dethrone the number 30 machine. We've got about 6 minutes left in qualifying. Still plenty of time for drivers to go out and put down a couple more hot laps, maybe make some adjustments, go back out and try it once again. Right now we're seeing if Andrew Neri can best his 1 minute 38.49. He might be able to pick up a tow from a different class car. I believe that's going to be DJ Weeks Jr. in front of him. If not, it's going to be one of the Daytona prototype drivers. That's Forsey with a new paint scheme. Forsey, the second fastest Daytona prototype on track right now, as it looks like Neri is going to have not the lap he wanted, having to cut through much traffic, as we saw another LMP2 driver send it sliding around, so Neri may run out of time here. He's got 5 minutes left in the session to try and best Alex Penn's hot lap. Casey Carrington, he finds a little bit of time as well, clicking off a 1 minute 38.35, putting himself up into second in class for qualifying. Edging out Andrew Neri. Look at this, Finley Fitzsimmons drops a 1 minute 37.37, the new fastest car on track. Neri was about 3/10 slower than his personal best that last time by. Let's go see if he can find anything else out here today, or if he's going to be happy qualifying 4th. All of these LMP2 drivers within about half a second of each other, so this should be quite exciting once the race finally starts. We've got 5 LMP2s, 3 Daytona prototypes, I believe 2 GT2s, and the lonesome GT1 of DJ Weeks Jr. So 12 drivers able to make it out one of the series that keeps getting bigger and bigger, and the guys keep getting faster and faster as this season progresses. It's going to be interesting to see what happens for Season 2 as well, to see how things start to ramp up. About 2.5 minutes left in open qualifying. Simmons clicks off another fast lap of 1 minute 37.37. Alex Penn, he's about half a second slower. He just clicked off his personal best as well, 1 minute 37.87. These LMP2 drivers getting a little bit more familiar with the track and maybe dialing in these setups at the very last opportunity to put down the fastest times possible. Let's see, does Neri have anything left in the tank to try and dethrone either Alex Penn or Fitzsimmons? Alex Penn, the number 30 machine, making it look great out there, not having any big worries so far. Now, one of the things we've kind of seen play into these 45-minute long races in the past is consistency from all of our drivers. A lot of the drivers very talented, able to put out some of the fastest laps possible, but some drivers, more so than others, able to keep it clean and point in the right direction all the way around, which always makes it exciting in the LMP2 class, especially when you've got 5 drivers very close on times. Again, pretty much everybody qualifying less than a second apart from each other. Your top 5 drivers, all LMP2 drivers. It's going to be interesting to see as well how the track temp starts to come into play here. Currently 69 degrees Fahrenheit ambient temperature, but it's 100-degree track temp. Are we going to see that track get hotter as the race progresses? And maybe make things a little bit more slippier for our drivers. But we are about to wrap up qualifying as we're going to throw the checkered here. Qualifying does not look like Alex Penn's going to be able to best his 1 minute 37.87. So he's going to be starting second on the grid here today. And Alex Penn just dives a little bit too deep there at the very end, invalidating his lap, so that'll be it. As it's going to be Johnny Eckert and Fitzsimmons, 2 of the last drivers out on track here at Silverstone, wrapping up their qualifying before we take it to tonight's grid. Looking forward to another exciting race with these guys. We've had 12 people sign up. I'm not sure if all 12 are going to make it to the grid, as both Mark Proctor and DJ Weeks Jr. did not put down any qualifying times. As Eckert's going to pull into pit lane and take the easy way out. And we're going to get ready to grid up our drivers here today. Not quite sure what we're going to see. 10 drivers putting down qualifying times. We've got 6 LMP2s out on track. We did not notice Cody Ledford still again out there. He is at the LMP2 and the number 3 machine. As we wait for qualifying to finally wrap up and get this grid out on track. 10 drivers have put down qualifying times. 12 have signed up. As our flagman, you can see him at the corner of your screen. He was working overtime despite no cars being on track. Still doing his best. He is paid hourly, not salary. But let's take it to tonight's grid and get this party started. Starting up front, it's going to be Finley Fitzsimmons in the number 6 Honda LMP2. Alex Penn, number 30 LMP2 driver, will be starting second. Andrew Neri in the 654 will be starting third. Casey Carrington, number 9, starting fourth here today. Nick Terrell, the number 81, starting fifth. And then we've got Cody Ledford, the number 3 machine, rounding out our LMP2 drivers, starting sixth. Starting on pole for his class, Jumpin' Johnny Eckert, the number 90 machine, is starting 7th overall. Jack Forsey, another Daytona prototype driver, in the number 74, starting 8th. You've got Devin Scroggins, our last Daytona prototype driver, in the number 55 machine, racing with Alpha Ravioli Yoo-Hoo Racing, starting 9th. DJ Weeks Jr., our lone car out there in the Corvette, starting 10th in the number 997. Then we've got Gareth McAllister, the fastest GT2 driver, the number 25 machine, and Mark Proctor, the number 36, will round out our 12-car grid. But let's get ready to go racing, as this is going to be quite the show here today, as we're still waiting for 2 or 3 drivers to make it out on the grid. And we had a question from one of our viewers is, hey, how is this league, how does it treat new, maybe inexperienced racers? Are they cool? Are they fun to race with? And the answer is absolutely yes. Very low pressure environment. Everybody has a lot of fun out here. And it's one of those leagues you can get into for a car for about $3 if you don't have one already. Both the LMP2s and the Daytona prototypes are $3 cars from iRacing. And they also run tracks such as Silverstone here today, that is a legacy, a $5 track. So again, for guys maybe are oval professionals or road curious, a good chance to get out there and race with some like-minded folks and maybe avoid the shenanigans of the public iRacing lobbies. The pace car goes in, and the car goes fast as Finley Fitzsimmons gets a great launch. Alex Penn in tow, Andrew Neri third, Casey Carrington fourth. As we already have a crash towards the back, that's going to be Cody Ledford. Bends it, coming out in the start-finish line straight. Up front, it is Fitzsimmons, Alex Penn second, right behind Penn. You've got quite a battle as Casey Carrington and Andrew Neri are running in a single file. A lot of LMP2 drivers out here today putting on a show. As we have 5 LMP2 drivers still running very close together. Cody Ledford has another incident, and he finds himself having to move towards the back, possibly with a highly damaged race car. You're on board with Casey Carrington, currently 4th overall and 4th in class number 9 machine. He is following Andrew Neri in the 654, trying to work his way up into a podium contention. But I believe we have another crash going on. It's going to be Devin Scroggins and Gareth McAllister, both having a big incident. Let's see if we can get a replay of that one. But man, oh man, is it early on in the night to have yourself involved with that type of moment. So we're watching Devin Scroggins, number 55. He's the bright yellow. And that's going to be Gareth McAllister right in front of him, I believe, the number 25 machine. So let's see how this one breaks down and who may be the instigator and who may be the innocent victim. As far as crashes go, couldn't have went better. Devin Scroggins with a bit of a spin. It gets it pointed back in the right direction. Meanwhile, Andrew Neri has taken over P2 in the LMP2 drivers, and we've got something broken here. That's not ideal. What on earth do we have going on here today, ladies and gentlemen? We've got trouble in the booth as well as trouble on the track. We have broken something up here in the booth. Something has gone terribly wrong here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if we can fix it the old-fashioned way. In the meantime, racing must go on. See if we can relaunch our software up in the booth, because the drivers will not stop for any reason. They're going to keep out there and keep charging hard. And it appears we might have fixed it. As things have really gone wrong up here, as really everything seems to be breaking up in the booth tonight. We're going to try and get that corrected for you. But right now it's Finley Fitzsimmons out in front. Andrew Neri is second. And you got Casey Carrington third overall. All the LMP2 drivers doing a good job, not having any big woes so far here today, taking it nice and easy. As we are focused on Andrew Neri, second overall and second in class for the LMP2 drivers. Neri is about 5 seconds back from Finley Fitzsimmons, and he's about 1.2 seconds ahead of Casey Carrington. Most part of our LMP2 drivers still running around relatively single file. You see Nick Terrell, the number 81 machine, trying to make a move on Casey Carrington to put himself up into podium contention. Quite the paint scheme that Nick Terrell is running today, the number 81. He's got to be one of the easiest cars on track to notice. But that is such a cool shot, showing you all the buttons available to these drivers to change different things as their run progresses. This is an open setup league, but unfortunately some of these cars are legacy themselves, so that means they've got open setups and a lot of data already out there for all of our drivers to learn and maybe find setups from across the internet. Haven't changed a lot with these cars in the last year or so. Up front, it is Fitzsimmons, Neri second, Carrington third, Terrell fourth, and then Alex Penn fifth. Alex Penn trying to charge back up there. He's one of the faster cars earlier today, so it's a little bit odd to see him lagging around in fifth place, but he knows he has to be consistent throughout the run to bring it home here at the end. As everyone out on track doing a relatively good job keeping it nice and clean. We've had a couple of early incidents, but again, it's a long format race for all these drivers, 45 minutes long. Nobody should be feel any pressure to get out there and charge her hard early on. Again, this race series has a lot of fairly newer guys to both the cars and the series. So everybody's out there collecting some much needed data and trying to learn as much as they can. Up front, Fitzsimmons clicks off the fastest lap of the race at 1:36.93. I'm almost fairly certain that's faster than his qualifying time was here today. Let's see, Alex Penn clicking him off. What happened here to Finley Fitzsimmons to find himself shuffled to the back? Did he lose internet connection? What happened? Fitzsimmons now showing 6th, 7th on the leaderboard and dropping down rapidly, so Fitzsimmons may have disconnected from the server. We believe that is the case. The newcomer to the series, the LMP2 driver, has fallen back, so that's going to make Andrew Neri your overall race leader here. What a shakeup, and that's kind of been the story all season long. Anything can happen. As this series has been nothing short of exciting all season long. Andrew Neri now in a good chance to possibly bring home his very first ever LMP2 win for the Legacy Sports Car Series. It looks like Fitzsimmons may have returned to the racetrack here. It's hard to tell. As no, he is still dropping down the leaderboard. We're going to cycle back further in the field where you've got jumping Johnny Eckert trying to chase down Jack Forsey for the class win. Forsey currently in the lead in the Daytona Prototypes, followed by about 1 second of Johnny Eckert. These guys have ran very close all season long, so it's going to be interesting to see what quite happens here. These Daytona Prototypes are a lot of fun to watch race. Is it Forsey's time to shine here today? He's been having quite a battle with Eckert all season long. Eckert has 7 wins. Forsey has 2. So it's been back and forth all season long. And as it stands right now, Forsey's looking at a very good shot to try and bring it home. But look at Andrew Neri up front. For the first time this season, he may be in striking position as he's going to get around Gareth McAllister, the number 25 machine. McAllister, your class leader for the GT2 drivers. We've got Grace Neri tuned in today as well, cheering on her husband, the world-famous Andrew Neri. Always great seeing Grace out here today at the virtual racetrack. As Neri is cutting through lap traffic, now he's going to come up on Devin Scroggins, the number 55 machine. Scroggins yields the position, no worries, does not want to get involved with a crash with a faster driver. All the LMP2s across iRacing have a bit of a reputation for how they pass people. So some drivers willing to give everyone a little bit more room when the situation allows. Neri, he's about 1.85 seconds ahead of Alex Penn, who's getting chased by Casey Carrington's number 9 machine. About 2 car lengths separate our 2nd and 3rd place overall and class leaders in the LMP2. It is still Neri, Penn, Carrington, your top 3 overall, and for the LMP2 drivers, Nick Terrell running 4th overall. Jack Forsey is your class leader for Daytona Prototypes. He's 5th overall. And we still have about 7 drivers on the lead lap. We've lost 2 drivers so far today, possibly 3. As I believe Mark Proctor, Cody Ledford, and Finley Fitzsimmons. No, Ledford is still out on track, and Fitzsimmons has joined the racetrack as well. As Cody Ledford, it looks like he's driving around without a front end on the LMP2, taking an alternative line through the kitty litter here in the section of Silverstone. Maybe trying to make his way back onto pit lane however he possibly can. Neri looking good, but here comes Alex Penn. He's starting to find a little bit of speed here. That last time by, Penn was about a half second faster than Andrew Neri, your overall leader. It's going to be interesting to see if Neri can hold on to it or if he's going to find himself with a lot of company here very quickly. Again, this is a game of attrition for these drivers. It is 45 minutes, so they have to focus on hitting their marks perfectly every time they're in the car. There's not a whole lot of relaxing opportunities here at Silverstone. About 30 minutes left in this feature event, and Alex Penn is getting closer and closer to striking distance behind Andrew Neri. Well, it's about 1 second separates our two drivers. Are we gonna see Alex Penn catch up to the overall race leader, Andrew Neri? And at what point is he going to do it? He's got 30 minutes left to strike, and it's usually a one-stop race for these Honda LMP2 drivers. As now it is at 1 second. Alex Penn getting closer and closer to Andrew Neri. That last time by, Penn was about 15 hundredths of a second faster than Andrew Neri. So over the course of a long format, that should be able to give him an opportunity. But look at this, he's really getting close, going in very, very hard on the braking. Looks like Neri is able to carry a little bit more corner speed out of the section of racetrack there under the Bridgestone tire wall. And try and get forward, but man, look how deep Penn is able to go on those brakes in the Honda LMP2. Really, really, really slowing down that car very, very quickly. But is Neri able to carry just a little bit more speed out of the corners? It's allowing him that opportunity to breathe, but that means good things for Penn if he does get within striking distance. We know he can run it in deep against Neri and possibly make something happen, but he has to be careful not to cause any incidents and maybe get involved. Alex Penn, he's got down to half a second between himself and the overall race leader, Andrew Neri. We've got about 4 drivers still on the lead lap, is what it is showing in live time at the top left hand of your screen. And we are about to have a battle up here for the front as Alex Penn is putting the pressure on Andrew Neri 654 machine. You guys are very, very quick all the way around. Let's see what's going to happen here. Neri may start driving a defensive line, and if he does so, that may slow him down as well, not allowing him to carry the corner speed that he really wants around this racetrack, which could play into Alex Penn's hands. We're going to have to wait and see because Penn is just sitting there watching to see what Neri is doing. And Penn's a very smart racer as well. He might be watching Neri to see where Neri's a little bit faster at and adjust his line as needed. Glenn, or we can see Alex Penn make a strike here. Is he going to wait till after the fuel window? Alex Penn really pressuring Neri here. It's been about 0.3 of a second separating our two drivers for the last several laps. And they ran identical lap times that last time by. We're getting closer and closer to the halfway mark as these guys are absolutely checking out, kind of in a class of their own. This is a testament to how good and clean these drivers are as well, not feeling too much pressure, not making any mistakes that could possibly bend their race car or their competitors' race cars. And putting on a fantastic show as well while they do so. And here we go. Alex Penn takes a look to the inside of Neri. Not quite able to make it stick there. But now we know the driver number 30 machine is looking to make that pass when the opportunity presents itself. He is not happy sitting behind Neri and waiting. Now Neri has lap traffic to contend with here. I believe that is DJ Weeks Jr. who did make it out on track in the number 997 machine. As look at that, Alex Penn dives down the inside of Andrew Neri, takes over the race lead. Now it is Neri's turn to chase the rabbit, to watch what Penn is doing well and see if he can improve on his best lap times he's clicked off so far here today. Now, how fast is Alex Penn going to be out front at number 30? Now that he has a bit of clean track, he's been watching Andrew Neri for several laps now, improving on his best lap time, and then also deciding where he can make some passing opportunities if the need arises, really collecting himself and recording some good data. But is Andrew Neri going to be able to keep in his toe and maybe learn a thing or two as well? It's only 0.7 of a second separating our first and second place driver. Alex Penn does have one win so far this season for the LMP2 class. Andrew Neri still chasing his very first win. Like Penn, though, able to stretch out that gap just a little bit. Over Neri in the 654 machine. Now it is looking prime for Alex Penn to bring home his second win of the season, but we do still have our pit cycles to contend with. We've seen it before where a comfortable race lead has been thrown away either by mistakes on pit road, speeding violations, or other shenanigans. So the race is definitely not over completely for everyone else but Alex Penn. Andrew Neri, Casey Carrington, Nick Terrell, your top 4 drivers overall, still in a great spot here to bring home a possible win. We're going to check on Jack Forsey and Johnny Eckert. This is the battle for the lead for the Daytona prototype class. As really there's no time at all that separates these two drivers as they're going to go side by side. Forsey trying to get that outside line working, just wasn't quite able to get the drive as he came out of the draft to do so. But we are 24 minutes into this race, and the Daytona prototype drivers have been separated by about a car length for the majority of the time. We've seen one driver have a bobble here and there, but these guys doing a great job keeping it nice and clean. They're going to keep an eye out as well on the LMP2 drivers to see when they finally initiate that pit cycle. And just like that, Forsey is back up on the rear bumper of the number 90 machine. And look at that! Eckert comes in, one of the first cars to cycle in for the Daytona prototype. Alex Penn also coming in. Andrew Neri, our LMP2 driver. That's going to be Johnny Eckert, Andrew Neri, and Alex Penn all coming into pit lane, the first to cycle in. That's going to put Casey Carrington as our new overall race leader as well as class leader for the LMP2s. So how long is Carrington and Terrell going to hang out our two lead cars that have not pitted yet? This is interesting as well. Alex Penn was in and out of his pit stall 8 seconds faster than Andrew Neri in the 654 machine was. So I'm not sure if Neri maybe had a problem on pit road or what may have transpired, but that's going to give Penn about a 10-second advantage over an area by the time it's all said and done and getting out of the pit lane. And now Carrington's going to come in, Forsey's going to come in. Terrell stays out though, number 81 Honda LMP2 driver. Opting to stretch it out just a little bit further, given the opportunity. We got word from our pit lane reporter that Neri decided to take tires while Penn may not have, opting only for fuel. He's going to double stint his tires. We're going to have to keep an eye on both those drivers' time to see what happens, but Neri has crashed. Neri with fresh tires has sent it just a little bit too much. The world famous Andrew Neri coming out on cold, fresh tires. Sends the 654 machine sliding around. Does not appear to be any damage on the race car, which is great, but that is not good news for Neri in the 654. So I believe that's going to put Carrington as our race leader, who absolutely short-stopped 6.87 seconds in his box compared to the 17 seconds of Penn and the 25 seconds of Neri. As Carrington's going to get around, I believe that's going to be McAllister and the number 25 Ford getting out of the way of the LMP2 driver, allowing that race car to get through nice and clean. So it's still Nick Terrell out front, who has not pitted yet, who just came into pit lane. Right as we say that, he dives into pit lane. So in theory, he should come out anywhere between 10 to 20 seconds behind Carrington, who absolutely short-stopped like nobody's business to try and get a comfortable race lead. It's going to be interesting to see if it pays off for him. Because behind Carrington, you've got Alex Penn, who's only about 5 seconds back. and closing very, very fast. But Penn's going to get tied up with lap traffic for a little while longer, and it's going to slow down his advance just a little bit. You saw him just get around Gareth McAllister, and now he's going to start hot lapping, trying to catch up to Casey Carrington, your new overall race leader. Nick Terrell is in and out of his pit box in about 13 seconds. So Nick Terrell is going to come back out on track right behind Alex Penn, and about 5 seconds back from Casey Carrington. We have a battle on our hands at the halfway mark. It is Carrington out front, Alex Penn second, Nick Terrell third, Andrew Neri fourth. Unfortunately, finds himself about 20 seconds back from a possible podium contention. We said it all early in the broadcast. This whole season has been all about consistency, not having the issues that throw away your chances. And a lot of these drivers use this as endurance practice, able to come out and do a little bit longer stints than they normally would. And maybe an iRacing official lobby. So let's see, Alex Penn, he's still about 4.8 seconds back from overall leader Casey Carrington. Is he going to be able to hot lap and whittle away at that 4.7 second gap? We've got about 15 minutes left to go in tonight's feature event. Not sure where we're going to shake up. We've seen it time and again of something tragic happen for any of our race leaders. We've seen it time and again where somebody can be leading the class or the overall here for the Legacy Sports Car Series, and then disaster strikes. We've seen engines blow up, we've seen self-spins, and we've seen all sorts of calamities. Right as we say that, Nick Terrell takes the alternative line, able to keep it pointing in the right direction, but a massive save from the number 81 driver. As now Devin Scroggins, he's going to have his own incident as well. See if we can grab a quick replay of that one. Scroggins loses it all on his lonesome. The overall leader is able to get through nice and clean, no problems there. Casey Carrington, he's still about 4 seconds ahead of Alex Penn, and Penn not able to find the time that he really wanted here. Now that last lap, Penn was about 9/10 of a second faster than your race leader, Casey Carrington. And oh, we have another incident. DJ Weeks Jr. goes for a ride. Let's see if we can get a replay of that one. We're watching DJ number 997 Corvette. Gets a couple wheels on the grass there. Maybe it starts to unsettle him. And let's see what happens to Weeks in the Corvette, where things may go wrong. He's hard on the brakes and the left-hander. This same section of racetrack has really been wearing drivers out here today with the self-spins as he gets it slid. Not bad. I mean, he got it corrected in time, I would say. And listen to that American muscle sing the song of its people. Carrington still out front. Penn second. Terrell third. Neri fourth overall. 4 drivers still on the lead lap here today. as her Honda LMP2 class has been really exciting all season long. Everybody doing a great job clicking it off. And yes, to answer your question, 6 LMP2 drivers made it out here today. We've had a couple of drivers having a rough night. Cody Ledford currently in the pits repairing his race car. And then Finley Fitzsimmons, the winner of last week, had a bit of a disconnect, and I think it was a disconnect. He finds himself 7th overall, 5th in class, but unfortunately about 2 laps down right now from the lead LMP2 drivers. So 6 LMP2 started and 4 still on the lead lap. And 3 are all within 6-7 seconds of each other. Carrington, Penn, Terrell running out front. Now, for those that are joining in tonight and have any questions, if you look on the left side of live timing, you'll see certain drivers designated with a yellow bar. Carrington, Penn, Terrell, Neri, Fitzsimmons, Ledford. That'll equate to the Honda LMP2 drivers. The baby blue is our Daytona prototype drivers. The slash mark next to the overall running quarter position on the left hand of the screen. The bright pink is our GT1 driver, DJ Weeks Jr. And then the purple will be our GT2 class drivers, McAllister and Proctor. Proctor was a DNS here today. A shame to see our points leader unable to make it, but look at this, Carrington coming back into pit lane. And that's going to allow Alex Penn to take over the race lead with 10 minutes left to go in tonight's race. Nick Terrell takes over 2nd place as well. So now it is kind of the same story, 2 different drivers. Nick Terrell, he's about 4 seconds back from Alex Penn. Earlier on, it was Alex Penn. He's about 4 seconds back from Carrington all the way around. So I'm not sure if Carrington maybe did not time his fuel right or what may have happened there, causing him to pit twice so far here tonight. Alex Penn cutting through traffic, not having any issues so far as DJ Weeks Jr. as Penn goes around the outside. I believe that's going to be McAllister right in front of your overall race leader, Penn as well. Penn cutting through traffic, making it look easy. Everybody very respectful here for the Legacy Sports Car Series, not wanting to put themselves in harm's way or anyone else's. 9 minutes left in the feature event. And things have been quite exciting for our Honda LMP2 drivers. Now Casey Carrington, he is 4th in class. He's trying to get around Andrew Neri, who is 3rd overall and 3rd in class. As Fitzsimmons in the McDonald-backed race car, he's 5th overall and 5th in class, but he's a lap down from the Honda LMP2 driver. He's about to get around as he goes into pit lane as well for his 1 pit stop of the night. Another update from our pit lane reporter. The number 9, Casey Carrington, took too little gas on his first stop, forcing him to take a 2nd stop. We were wondering what was going on with that extremely brief pit stop that he had, but good to see him get back out there despite the bad luck on pit road, as he is now trying to pressure Neri to take away that 3rd place spot for a Honda LMP2 driver. He gets a little bit wide out in the grass, able to hold on to it. But man, what a race these guys are putting on. Quite a battle shaking up for third overall. It's Casey Carrington chasing down Andrew Neri 654 machine. About 6 minutes left in the race. Less than 0.6 of a second separating our two Honda LMP2 drivers. Again, it's Carrington, the number 9 machine. You're currently on board, trying to chase down Andrew Neri 654 machine. Last time by Carrington. Oh, a big moment out of Carrington, able to hold on to it. That is going to give Neri a much needed chance to breathe as Carrington kind of overextended the limits of the racetrack. Trying to find a little bit more time. We were trying to say that Carrington was about 0.4 of a second faster than Neri his last time by. But he lost a whole lot of momentum there, able to hold on to it. But that was a massive moment for the number 9 Honda LMP2 driver. It's going to be interesting to see here what happens. Carrington appears to have the speed, but Neri has the consistency out on track. Up ahead of them, you've got one driver off track. That's going to be Gareth McAllister, the leader of the GT2 class, able to maybe just try and extend the track limits, allowing some LMP2 drivers to cut through nice and easy. Neri, who is 6th in points for the Honda LMP2 drivers, is looking great to maybe bring home a podium here. But he is going to have a whole lot of competition as Casey Carrington really charging hard, trying to get up there. It looks like Neri has a bit more speed here. He's about 0.3 faster than Carrington his last time by. 0.7 of a second separates the two LMP2 drivers. Again, it's Neri in third on screen, the 654 machine, chased by the gray and red number 9 of Casey Carrington. Less than 3 minutes remaining here in the night's race. Alex Penn still out front with a comfortable lead over Nick Terrell in second, about 6.6 second advantage over the second place driver, Nick Terrell. And we have only 4 drivers on the lead lap. Alex Penn making it look, extending the gap to about 7 seconds to Nick Terrell. Meanwhile, Casey Carrington still trying to hunt down Andrew Neri as the timer starts to rapidly close. Not a lot of time left for anybody to make any moves, as I believe that was the white flag we just saw waving. Less than a minute left in today's feature event. It's Alex Penn still on top. Nick Terrell second, Andrew Neri third, Casey Carrington fourth, and then Finley Fitzsimmons fifth for our overall. But you've got Penn leading the Honda LMP2s, Forsey leading the Daytona Prototypes, DJ Weeks Jr. leading the GT1 class, and McAllister leading the GT2s. The checker flag is going to wave as Alex Penn is going to come home for the final time here at Silverstone. What a great race from all these competitors. So from my understanding, it's going to be Penn, Terrell, Neri, Carrington, your top four overall, finishing on the lead lap. But well done to Penn overall with a fantastic finish here today, showing why he's the world famous kart racer and a Skip Barber School attendee. I don't know if Penn knows that the race is over at this point, but I'm not going to be the one that tells him. There we go. Penn pulls it over, and let's see if he's going to light up the rear tires. He does with a well-deserved burnout. Penn put it on the top spot. He had a rough start earlier this season, but able to bring it home here and getting progressively faster as the season goes on. As we're going to try and get our drivers up here for their interview. Up first, we've got Gareth McAllister bringing it home, the number 25 Ford. Gareth, how did tonight go from your point of view, my friend?
It was pretty good. Yeah, car was very slippery. I had a small amount of damage pretty early on. I accidentally clipped one of the DPs that spun around in the early part of lap one, and apparently, according to the pit crew, they couldn't fix it or find a problem with it, so I kept spinning out during the race, unfortunately.
Well, maybe we'll get a little bit more duct tape or Flex Seal for you, McAllister. We look good out there. Now, I know you're kind of one of the newcomers here for this series. What attracted you to Legacy Sports Cars? Was it the options to race different cars, the track choice, or what was it that brought you on board with us?
I'd probably say it was more the cars that were interesting to me. I've never seen anyone else run GT2s, so I was really happy to run them. So I was really excited for that, and also just the racing looked like a really nice up and coming series, and I'm really happy to be a part of it.
Well, Garrett, always a pleasure having you on board, my friend. Before I let you sign off, any friends, family, sponsors you'd like to give a shout out to before I let you sign off here today?
Uh, Probably a shout out to my friend Connor. Unfortunately, he couldn't race today. with me because he was feeling quite ill, but hopefully next time.
Always a pleasure, man. Hope to see you up here more often, Gareth.
Thank you.
Up next, we've got DJ Weeks Jr. bringing it home first in class. DJ, not a lot of competition out there today. What happened to the usual suspects we're used to seeing here?
I don't know. I'm surprised you guys found me, man. I was just riding all by myself the whole race, like, just one of them lonely days.
Well, you still looked great out there, my friend. Didn't look like you had any too big of issues. Did you have any problems out there today at Silverstone, or was it pretty straightforward and easy for you?
I mean, easy as in I don't have to really push very hard because there's no one near me. But I mean, I hate this track in general, so the old layout's even worse. So I'm just happy to be done with it and move on to Watkins Glen.
Well, DJ, glad you survived out there, my friend, and looking forward to seeing Watkins Glen. Before I let you sign off, who'd you like to give a shout out to here today that may be helping you out?
Just my team at Outlaw and Joe for putting on this series and you for broadcasting, man.
Always a great time, DJ. Always a good time talking with different leagues, and always hope to see you up here more often.
All right, buddy.
Up next, we've got Jack Forsey, the Daytona prototype winner. Jack, you got your ears on?
Yes, sir.
Jack, it seems like you and Eckert have been going back all season long, and today was your time to shine. What made you a little bit more comfortable out here at Silverstone compared to some of the other tracks you've been at?
I mean, I wouldn't say comfortable. The tires today were probably the most skittish I've seen them all season. So had a couple code browns there when we were fighting, but just I think taking a little less fuel, skipping out on adding another set of tires, I think was really what gave me the upper hand today.
We did great out there, my friend. How are you feeling going into Watkins Glen next week? Is that a track you're fairly comfortable with, or what's your thoughts on that one?
I think it's going to be interesting to work with the curving, especially at turn 1 in the bus stop. This car can get a little unsettled when it's up in the air, so might have to mess with the springs a little bit, but we'll make it work.
Well, Jack, always a great time talking to you. It's been really cool seeing you get faster and faster as the season progresses. Before I let you sign off, who would you like to give a shout out to that may be cheering you on?
Big thanks to Preschoolgans.com who came on board this week and helped me out to keep on doing this week in and week out. So just thank them and for their support.
All right, Jack. Well, good luck, man. We hope to see you do well at Watkins Glen. Always a great time talking to you.
Thank you very much.
And up next, the man of the hour, the kart racing extraordinaire, Alex Penn, putting on the top spot. Alex, I know the season's been up and down for you, but you got to be happy with how tonight went.
Yeah, real glad we were able to finally get a overall win. Had a bit of luck on our side today, and took a bit of a gamble with the setup, but I was glad to see it paid off today.
Now, when you say you took a gamble with the setup, did you I'm not going to ask you what you did because I don't want you to reveal all your secrets, but how did that affect the car and how it drove, and was it what you expected?
It was a little bit quicker in a straight line, and the back end really enjoyed sliding out, that's for sure.
So driving to the rear end sounds like a whole lot of fun. Now, Pena, you seem to have a little bit less scary moments this race at Silverstone. Was that attributed to maybe the track? Are you more used to running here, or what made you so consistent as the night went on?
First time running at this track, but I think it really was down to I was able to just keep my focus a lot better than last week and some of the weeks before it.
Well, Alex, always a great time talking to my friend. All the guys over at Skip Barber had to be proud. But before I let you sign off, who would you like to give thanks to that's cheering you on from behind the scenes?
Definitely thanks to you and the guys running this league, the people who jumped in to watch the stream today, and really Skip Barber Racing School for teaching me most of what I know.
Well, always a great time, Alex. Hope to see you do well at Watkins Glen next week, man.
All right, see you then.
And that is going to do it here for the Legacy Sports Cars Series, sponsored by Ledford Construction. A great race here at Silverstone. Next week, we go to Watkins Glen to see what these competitors can do. And then we head to Homestead September 11th for the season finale. So it should be quite the exciting next couple of weeks. Again, on behalf of Legacy Sports Cars Series, as well as TeamGoonsquad.com Broadcasting, wishing you all a happy and safe weekend. And we'll see you same time, same place next week. Have a great night, everyone.